A new program will help high school students earn their associate's degree before graduating high school. And we get an update on the shooting range with Assistant Town Manager Mark Ells. Plus, we take you to the spectacle of trees at the Hyannis JFK Museum. All this and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, December 9th, 2013. I'm Sarah Mantle. Cape Cod Community College has a new partnership with Bourne High School. The college is working on a program that will allow high school students to earn an associate's degree during their junior and senior years of high school. Spokesperson Michael Gross says while these types of programs have been used in other parts of the country, it is new to Cape Cod.
And what it really means is that a gifted high school student, literally in their junior and senior year, could choose to come to Cape Cod Community College and enroll as our student, and at the same time gain the high school credit for the work that they're taking at the college, so that when they complete their senior year, they would have a high school diploma and they would have a fully accredited associate's degree in liberal arts. That means they're already prepared to enter advanced college classes once they graduate from high school. The public may well be familiar with dual enrollment, in which a high school student enrolled in their high school takes a course at our college or a couple of courses, maybe in lieu of taking an advanced placement course, an AP course, and they receive college credit for it and in fact advance themselves into higher education that way. But they're actually at their high school every day. They're coming as part of their school day or part of a weekend and taking a college course. They integrate higher education into their high school experience. In this particular case, it's the opposite. A high school student, in fact, comes to our campus every day, does not go to their high school for academic classes. Now, the good news is extracurricular activities, they could certainly still eligible and would play in the band or would play sports or would do clubs or whatever activities among their peers they were at their high school, but they would actually be enrolled in early college. We're very excited about it. It is the next real step, I think, in that partnership with the high schools. Bourne is first. We certainly expect there will be others. It is new for New England, certainly for Massachusetts. We understand that one of our other sister colleges is engaging and beginning to have this conversation with some other high schools around it. It is something President Cox brought from Maryland. It is something that is popular in other parts of the country, and we now have it at Cape Cod.
Gross says not all students will be a good match for the new early college program.
This student coming in is going to be integrated into our campus. We're not creating special classes for these students. We're not running a college high school, if you will, a separate advanced high school or anything of that sort. The students are coming, and they're going to be walking right into the same class that the other numbers of students are going to be taking every day from our faculty. We're not in many ways doing anything special for them, with the exception of we're giving them the opportunity to come to college. Now, certainly advisors, all of the various student support services we have, I'm sure will be worked just a little bit so that when they're advising a high school student entering, they're going to be dealing with them slightly differently and helping them adapt just a little bit to college. But the reality is, no, we're not creating a special environment for the students.
Gross says they hope to begin the new early college program with Bourne next fall. Work on reopening the shooting range in Barnstable is progressing. Assistant Town Manager Mark Ells says right now they're negotiating with the Department of Conservation and making sure the shooting range complies with their regulations.
The type of assurances they want at that range, and you know the history of this, but at some point in history we accepted state funds for those lands, those conservation lands that were purchased, and with that came conditions. And some of the conditions are that they have say in what we're doing out there. And they're looking for consistency with their policy.
Ells says the Department of Conservation is reviewing the rules and hours the town approved for the shooting range.
So what we're doing internally is meeting with the chair of the Conservation and Rob Gatewood, Tom Lynch, myself, and legal. We're going to talk through how we're going to progress from here. So internally, we've had several applicants for the certified range safety officer. If you remember, that was something they wanted us to move toward rather than using police officers, which is a good idea. We were excited to see that we had multiple applicants there, as well as a gate attendant. We've put in place a CIP relevant to a longer term issue, which is some of the lead mitigation that needs to be done out there. And so we're progressing on that issue. Dave Anthony's gotten 2 responses when he went out for quotations on insurance premiums. They're both within budget, so we're very close to being ready to go.
And we will, of course, keep you up to date as those negotiations continue. It is still fiscal 2014, but Mark Ells says the town is already hard at work on the fiscal 15 budget.
Reviews on the CIPs at this point. There's been lots of communications going back and forth, both on our CIP is Capital Improvement Program, but Capital Improvement Program and our operating budgets. And so we're right in the midst, as far as from an administrative standpoint, in the review of both drafts at this point. The Capital Improvement Program comes about a month or maybe a little more than that, 45 days ahead of the operating budget. Usually we're publicly discussing it at Town Council in April, and then we're well into the operating budget by mid-May to certainly early June.
Ells says budget planning continues year-round in the town of Barnstable. A holiday tradition will help 17 local nonprofits. The annual Spectacle of Trees opened over the weekend at the Hyannis JFK Museum. The event raises money for organizations by selling tree bucks that can be used as a chance to win one of the decked out trees. Not only does a win mean you get the tree, but also the many prizes that are under the tree. Evelyn Young with the Cape Cod Center for Women says her organization is the only confidential domestic violence shelter on the Cape.
We house at least 4 families at a time, make sure that they get back together, put them back on the road, and help them move along to a new life. We've served over 1,300 families, and we're a private organization and just looking for some exposure further on down the Cape, and we're just happy to be here.
Young says this is the first year the Cape Cod Center for Women has participated in the Spectacle of Trees.
I think we had a lot of fun doing it. And the exposure here is amazing. 6,000 to 7,000 people coming through this event. And what a great place to have the event at the JFK Museum, especially this year.
To get your tree box and view the Spectacle of Trees, you can visit the Hyannis JFK Museum Tuesday and Wednesday from noon to 4, Thursday and Friday from noon to 8, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. The winners will be announced at close Saturday. Now it's time to get our sports update from Brenna McCoubry.
Good evening, Barnstable. I'm Brenna McCoubry here with all things New England and Barnstable High School sports. Yesterday afternoon, the New England Patriots came back after trailing the Cleveland Browns the first 3 quarters. It wasn't until the last few minutes of the game where the Patriots were able to get a touchdown, recover an onside kick, and win the game 27-26. Sources say Rob Gronkowski will miss the remainder of the season due to torn knee ligaments after a hit in yesterday's matchup. The Boston Celtics were at Madison Square Garden last night and beat the New York Knicks 114-73. They will remain in New York for a 7:30 start tomorrow night versus the Brooklyn Nets at the Barclays Center. Great win for the Boston Bruins last night as they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-2. The Bruins will travel west to play the Calgary Flames tomorrow night at 9:30. Winter sports have begun over at Barnstable High School. A few scrimmages took place this past weekend to get the season rolling. Tomorrow, the girls' varsity basketball team will host Plymouth North at 3:30. Also at 3:30, the boys and girls winter track will travel up to have a meet held at Wheaton College. Much more to come this week for our New England and Red Raiders sports, but for now, I'm Brenna McCoubry.
For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.